I think we are not getting your voice, sir.
Now, very good morning. Are you getting my voice now?
Yeah. Now perfectly fine. We are getting your voice.
Good morning, Dr. Ranu.
Yeah, very good morning, sir. Good to see you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So we are all set to have you in our keynote session. I welcome everyone for the 2-day international conference on media communication and design being organized by Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. I welcome heartily Professor Sunil Kant Behra, who is a well-known professor and media educator and researcher for the last 39 years. Born in 1955, Professor Behra started his career in 1981, and since then he has been making great contributions in media education and research also. He has a long list of achievements to his credit, but very briefly, I will speak a few words about him. He started his career from Berhampur University, Odisha. Later, he joined Tejpur University as Professor of Eminence in 2016. And still, he is working with the same prestigious university. As the founding professor, he has established the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism in Tejpur University. Professor Behra has supervised 27 PhD scholars in mass communication and journalism, including 7 MPhil scholars in women's studies. He has published numerous, specifically 40 research papers in international and national journals. About his administrative responsibilities, I would like to share with you all. He has been the Dean, Head, Member of Academic Council, Member Senate, Director of Distance Education Cell. So these all are worthy positions which he has been handling by now. Professor Behra is associated with around 55 universities across the country in various academic assignments and positions. He has traveled to international forums to deliver lectures on media and communication discipline. Professor Behra is associated with NAC, UGC, and is a coordinator since 2004. He is also associated with prominent bodies under UPSC. I heartily welcome Professor Sunil Kanta Behra as one of our keynote speakers to begin with our 2-day international conference. He will be specifically speaking around the title, which is Quantitas and Qualitas of Communication and Media Research, Lessons from India. Professor Sunil, we welcome you, and over to you. We are looking to have more insights from your lecture.
Thank you, Dr. Ranu Tomar, and for your wonderful words about me. I don't know whether I do deserve such kind of commendations by you or not, but I will try my best to share some of my views on research, and particularly communication research that we have been carrying out in our country for the last 60-70 years. As we all know, communication education, we are in the threshold of 100 years of media education in the country, and started by Annie Besant. Since then, we are still evolving as a discipline of studies and academics and research. Now, when I come back to the topic of my study, that is Quantitas and Qualitas of communication and media research, some reflections, some lessons from India. What I have done here is I have made an attempt to explore different areas of mass communication research that represents a dominant paradigm in media communication research in contemporary time. We have been doing research in many facets, many areas of communication, but the always appears to be a dominant paradigm in communication research. I have also tried to understand the idiosyncratic and reductionistic interpretations of qualitative and quantitative research in communication. Most of the research that I have evaluated, I have made a little study of the PhD thesis that have been there for the last 5 years, particularly in Sodh Ganga. I have made a study of that. I have also made a study of about 11 journals and about the publications made by my worthy colleagues in the field of media education in India. And so my findings will be relating to that. But before that, I will also talk a bit about what basically research is and how India has placed herself in the research map of the globe. When we talk in terms of the, we nowadays we talk more in terms of QS ranking, Times World ranking, NAC ranking, and the NIRF ranking, of which research is a major component of assessment. And when we talk about research, it is not only the number of research papers, but also the more important thing is the citations. More important thing is the impact factor of journals in which you publish. And the most important thing again here is the H index. I will be discussing about those things in the latter times. But if we look at research as an attempt to find out about things and people and the complexities of communication, research becomes very fascinating, because communication itself is a very fascinating field of inquiry. So research in communication also becomes very fascinating. But the way our human mind works, we are in a sense always being engaged in research. But the basic difference here is we do not always engage ourselves in scientific and scholarly research. And the question is, can research be considered as a continuum to our educational endeavors at postgraduate level studies? Can PhD is a continuum? Can research is a continuum to our postgraduate studies that we are offering at our universities and colleges even? And in universities means public, private, everything. The answer is yes as well as no. Whether PhD, whether our research is a continuum of our MA programs, the answer is a yes and also a no. The answer is yes when we do research to get a PhD or MPhil degree after our master's, then the answer is yes. It's a continuum. It's a higher degree that we achieve after our master's. But when we take up research projects for creation of new knowledge, which is a basic parameter of research, solving our social, economic, and other problems, or to find out innovative and creative uses of the existing knowledge with contextual perspective, then it is no. Means we are basically involved mostly in award getting research, that is PhD, the degree award research. But when it comes to innovations in knowledge creation, when it comes to the problem solving research, when it comes to creation of new knowledge, perhaps somewhere we are lagging a bit behind. Now, when we look at the kind of research that is being done in India, we will be able to identify the quantum of scholarly research as well as degree awarding research. We will also be able to identify the kind of methodologies the researchers adopt and use in their research, whether qualitative or quantitative or mixed method. Now, mass communication research has evolved over the years, and it has also made a striding progress in its methodological domain and also in the areas of research. And there is a drastic change in terms of research approach and methodology used to conduct research. And the present study is an attempt to explore those areas of communication. And but of late, what has been more significant is the use of social media and researching social media, researching the OTT, researching the medium itself, and researching the content itself of the social media, and how the social media diabolically takes part in the societal meaning making process. That's what we have to see. So I have made, let me be very clear, I have analyzed about, I refer to the Sodh Ganga, a repository of PhD research of the UGC, which is being run and managed by the InflipNet. And during the last 5 years, I have found about 1,012 communication theses, which will analyze. But before that, let me take up where we stand in the global map of research. I am very happy to say that in particularly research in science and engineering, we have made a mark at the global level. If I talk about the data by the government of Ministry of Education, Government of India of 2020, and India stands third in the global ranking with 135,788 research articles. It is third, and it got third in terms of science and engineering. Let me be very clear. We are moving ahead in science and engineering research, and our global output to the global research here in science and engineering stands at 5%. That's okay, being third. And of course, China leads with 20.67% of the output, and US with 16.54% output. But what is worrying here is that our citation index, India's share is only 3.4%, where the global citation index is much higher. So 3.4% of the global world citation index is India's share. But again, one good thing is that I was looking at the 10 top journals of the world in science and engineering, and there was a study where I found out that about 15.8% of Indian research articles are published in world's top 10 science and engineering journals. That's a cause to rejoice. That's a cause to we can be proud of. Now, as we all know, the lesson 2, now I will go to India. We have the largest education network in the world with about 1,400 universities, 50,000 colleges, and 650 standalone research institutions. Look at the size of the educational infrastructure, educational scenario in our country. But the study shows that the majority of the research works in science and engineering have come from research organizations like Indian Institute of Science, Indian IITs, CSIR laboratories, ICMR laboratories, and other standalone research institutions. India's universities' contribution is limited to only 22% of the total output. Why I have specifically mentioned this? That we have 1,400 universities, we have 600 standalone research institutions, but when we talk about the world output, our output, only 22% are being contributed by the Indian universities, and rest 78 are from the research institutions. That is, now I will come to the social science research, which is of our concern. Social science research, I may sound little pessimistic. I am sure you will all pardon me for that. Little pessimistic in the sense the world output in social science research is 16.6 lakh articles per year. 16.6 lakh articles. But unfortunately, on October 2020 data of the Government of India, Ministry of Education, India's contribution, which was only 10,500 articles in 2015, have grown to 25,811 articles in October 2020, which is only about 1.6% of the total world output. They are 5% in science and engineering, but when it comes to social science research, where communication is also a part of it, we are limiting ourselves to 1.6% of the total world output. But the government of India has started new programs of research that is IMPRESS. You must be aware of that, the impactful research in social sciences. Then we have STRIDE, Scheme for Transdisciplinary Research for India's Developing Economy. And the government of India, I am very happy to say that the GDP spending on education, research and development has gone up, and they have made a contribution allocation of about 1119.31 crores. They were released to ICSSR, ICHR, Indian Council of Social Science Research, Indian Council of Historical Research, Indian Council of Philosophical Research, and other bodies for promotion of research. So we are improving. Now, again, the other lesson that I have learned from the analysis is that India is lacking mostly in good impact factor journals. We are not having enough. Maybe if you count, there will be only 24 to 25 good impact factor journals across all the disciplines. For a population of 140 crores, we have only 24, 25 research journals with impact factor beyond 4. So that's a very concern of worry. And also the citation index. The citation index of Indian universities are very, very low. The citation index of, I was making a comparative study and I found out University of Hyderabad is the institution which tops in citation index, but unfortunately it is also 4.63. 4.63 means the number of times every research paper in the University of Hyderabad is being cited 4.63 times by the global researchers and the fellow researchers. That is the topmost in India. And whereas the global citation index is 30.2. Think about the major difference. The global citation index average is 30.2, and the top Indian university which has reached 4.63 is only University of Hyderabad. Let us not think about other universities. I have already told you I will be a little pessimist in my findings, but certainly we will draw lessons. We are evolving as a good research university, a good research country. H-index. H-index, what do we understand by H-index? My young colleagues and even many of us were not aware of what H-index is. H-index of an institution is, in India, again, University of Hyderabad tops the list with H-index of 49. 49 means out of the total number of research papers published by the faculty members of University of Hyderabad, 49 papers have been cited 49 numbers of times. Means each paper of those 49 will be cited by others 49 number of times. That is the H-index. Means you might have published 2,000 new publications, research papers, but only 43 have been cited, 49 have been cited for 49 times. Then that is a measure of H-index. Even, I will tell you, it is certain scientists are there in our country whose H-index is about 55, 60, means every individual's H-index. They have written 50, 60 articles and they are being cited so many number of times according to the number of articles. So H-index. Now we will come to mass communication research. Now, before we talk about mass communication research, a brief outlook at the subject itself. I have been teaching the subject for the last 39 years, but if you ask me, sir, what is your contribution? I might limit my contribution to maybe 1.5% or so. We have not been able to contribute. I do accept with all humility that we have not contributed enough. Now, there are several schools of thoughts. Some says that it is a vocational subject, mass communication. Some say it is a traditional subject like any other political science, history. And most of us say that it's a professional subject. How many of you agree that it is not a professional subject? I don't know. But professional, to be a professional subject, say for example, take for example, medicine is a professional subject. Law is a professional subject. Pharmacy is a professional subject. Engineering is a professional subject because they have an over-archaic body to regulate the syllabus, to regulate the teaching learning methods, to regulate the research, everything. Like for medicine, you have Medical Council, Medicine Council of India, Medical Council of India. For law, you have Bar Council of India. For pharmacy, you have Pharmacy Council of India. For engineering, you have AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education. But for communication studies, we do not have a body which can regulate the quality of the curriculum and regulate the teaching learning methods. We can regulate the training components of the practical training components of the students. So we have been, if you go to the UGC website, undergraduate level communication is a vocational subject. When it comes to graduation or post-graduation, it becomes a MA course, general subject. There is no question of professionalism. That is one. Secondly, mass communication and journalism, always we say that we are a discipline, is a growing discipline. But to me, we are yet to evolve with the discipline. We will never evolve with the discipline because mass communication and journalism is rooted in its interdisciplinarity and multidisciplinarity. If you look at the concept of communication, if you look at the curriculum, we are drawing inputs. If you, from Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra to anthropological, we have drawn inputs from anthropology, drawn input from sociology, psychology, philosophy, literature, and cultural studies. So, our domain of communication studies and research is rooted in its multidisciplinarity. When we make an attempt to evolve it as a, we are failing in itself. But one thing I will say, journalism or communication, mass communication is a profession in itself. But the education in journalism and mass communication is not a profession, it is not a discipline in itself, it is multidisciplinary. That is the reason why you will find different nomenclatures. We have Department of Mass Communication, we have Department of Journalism and Creative Studies, we have Department of Media Studies, we have Department of Communication, Department of Journalism. But several nomenclatures we find in several universities. Similarly, we are being situated in different faculties. In some universities, we are in social sciences faculty. In some universities, humanities faculty. In some universities, library science faculty. In some university, IT faculty. And in some university, performing arts faculty. So we do not have a faculty of our own. We are being situated. And now, suppose Jagran Lake City University, you have a faculty of journalism and creative studies. So something evolving, creative, it's evolutionary. It's evolving over time, even today. And that is the subject status in our contemporary times. But nevertheless, all of us have realized there is a trust deficit between the educational institutions and the media industry for whom we are training the human resources. Now, lesson number 6. We all know more than about 380 universities and colleges and institutions, they are offering courses on communication. And we all know that communication, mass communication, is a skill oriented, knowledge based, and technology driven subject. I undermine skill oriented, knowledge based, and technologically driven subject. Now, what are the skills that we impart? What are the skills that we want our students to learn? These are comprehension skills. First, the students need to develop their comprehension skills so that they can understand the text, so that they can understand the lecture, so that they can read the essays, read the theories, and understand, comprehend those concepts, comprehend their applications, comprehension skills that is needed by every discipline student, but more for communication. Second set of skills we require is writing skills. Whether you write for print, whether you write for radio, whether you write for television, whether you write for social media, you see, multitasking, multi-writing skills, you will have to be able to write for all forms of media. Nowadays, that is the need of the hour. The writing skills. Unfortunately, I will tell you, the reading habits of students have gone down, particularly after the internet. If you ask any student in, not only in mass communication, in many, if you ask the names of the few books, names of few authors, they will not be able to, because they don't read books. They only look at internet. That is the Googling, Wikipedia. This is the knowledge bank for our students today. I am not questioning the efficacy, I am not questioning the, but reading is very, very important, particularly for communication. Unless you read, you will not be able to bring out the meaning, multi-contextualized meanings of the same text, right? And writing skills. Third is production skills. Production skills are very well required because you will have to produce television news capsules, you will have to produce radio programs, you will have to produce commercials. So the production skills, the use of camera, the editing techniques, all these things you will have to understand. And fourth is technological skills, the technical skills. Technical skills. Here, technical skills, I am not talking in terms of the hard skills. I am talking in terms of the soft skills. You know the production skills, you know how to operate a camera, but how aesthetically you can operate the aesthetics of productions, we are not teaching them. We are simply teaching them as technicians how to operate a camera, how to edit it, how to place, where to place the lightings. But what is the aesthetic use of these? The aesthetics of communication, we are not able to teach them. These are the skills that we are teaching them. Coming to knowledge. Knowledge based, I have said, you see, we are not only teaching them theories in communication, we teach them theories from a multidisciplinary perspective. We teach them communication, sociology, psychology, philosophy, political science, all political communication theories, anthropology, cultural studies, developmental studies now has become very, very important for us. So, knowledge is multidisciplinary. But as a communication teacher, I am having a degree in mass communication and I am now teaching about psychology. I am teaching about law. I am teaching about political science. I am teaching about economics and commerce of media, economics of media. You see, I will come to what is the impact of that. And technology based, I said, we have to think about the evolution of the printing technology, the evolution of broadcasting technology. We will have to teach them about computers and graphics. We will have to teach them about the digital technology and mobile technology and social media platforms, OTT, all these things we will have to teach them. Our subject is so varied in nature that we cannot confine ourselves either to the classroom or to the laboratories even. We will have to move to the media houses. We will have to move to the field where when we talk about development communication, when we talk about participatory communication, we need to participate in the social processes. We need to go to the field level workers We need to meet the people, those who are having for whom the developmental plans are being implemented. And then, though all my life I have worked in a public university, state and government funded university, I have made a little differentiation to which you may not or may agree. I have looked at the private universities' curriculum and their focus. The private universities, those who are teaching mass communication, they are more focused on skill-based education. They are teaching more on skills, less on knowledge. Sorry to say this. More on skills because they are looking at the employment potential of the students. Unless they get employment, the universities will not get enough students. So that is a direct proportional link with employment and our skill-based education. So they are focused and they have become successful. The problem lies with The problem actually lies with the government universities, the public funded universities and institutions. Here, if you look at the nomenclature of the degrees, we provide them certificate programs, we provide them diploma programs, we provide them PG diploma programs, we give them my MA programs, MA degrees, we give them PhDs, MPhils, everything. Now, if I have made a comparison of these syllabus of a certificate program, a diploma, and a postgraduate diploma and a MA program, everywhere 40 to 50% of the curriculum on mass communication is same. We say in mass communication MA level, advanced level research, advanced studies in communication. Hey, what is that advanced? We need to identify. And fortunately, I will give credit to the UGC. Now only in 2020, we have been able to identify the program objectives, program specific course specific objectives, and we have also identified the learning outcomes of the students. If you have this course objective, what are the learning outcomes after this semester? If you have this course on film production, film theory, what will be the learning outcomes? We have developed our curriculum now. It is little more, I will say, good for the students. Now they know what will be their learning outcomes. But in most of the universities, public universities, the students lose their direction because it's a comprehensive course. In first semester, we teach them print. Second semester, we teach a little about television production. Third semester, we talk a little about research. Fourth semester, we talk a little from culture, media and culture and society, intercultural communication, international communication. So, with this comprehensive syllabus, they are losing the focus because there are always two sets of students. One set of students, those who are always those who want to join the industry, employment, they are looking for employment. But we also have another group of students, those who are looking at their improvement of knowledge and they want to join the academics and research. Now you see, if you look at the goals of these two sets of students, they are quite divergent in nature. But our curriculum never allows them to have that focus, to have that diversion in their approaches to learning, in their approaches to research. That is the major problem with the public universities where we fail. Of course, gradually now we are moving in that direction. We are doing things where students will be specializing in certain things. Now the lesson number 7. Now I will come to the analysis of the 1012 PhD theses in communication for the last 5 years, which have been uploaded in the Sodh Ganga. But many universities again are missing there. Many of the universities, maybe because of the plagiarism reason, they are not uploading the thesis there in the Sodh Ganga. I don't say that those who are being uploaded, they are free from plagiarism. But I have analyzed this. I have looked at their titles. And surprisingly, what I found, the five most commonly used terms in the titles. Listen carefully. One, growth. Second, impact. Third, effect. Fourth, history. Fifth, role of media, role of radio, role of television, role of advertising, role of social media, role of cinema, role of PR. So, growth, impact, effect, history, role. These are the five terms, five words which I have found almost in 70% of the theses. Means 70% out of 1012, around 703 research PhD theses are on effect studies, are historical in nature. They have studied either the history and growth of print media, history and growth of Facebook, history and growth of Hindi Patrakarita, history and growth of Malayalam Patrakarita, history and growth of radio, and effect studies, effect research. Actually, in India, in communication, the research in communication started with the effects studies, particularly in family planning communication. If you remember, that's how we have started in 70s. But we are still continuing with the trend of talking about or doing effect studies more. But there is a slight deviation now. The welcome change also is there now. But out of the analysis, I have found the interdisciplinary studies or research are very less. Interdisciplinary studies. But gradually, some of the theses what I found relate to sociology, development, and culture. Particularly, I will name not those institutions, but a university, as I have said, in Hyderabad, Jamia, Tezpur, this University of Madras, many around 15, 16 universities, they are engaged in researching sociology, researching C4D, researching media and culture, researching about the developmental studies in communication. So ICT again has become an important area of research. ICT, social media, and C4D. These are the emerging areas of research in communication in the 2020-2021. And now we are producing about 1012 PhD theses. On an average, every year, mass communication PhDs have been around 600 to 650 PhDs awarded all over the country. But those are awarded only for the degrees. I am talking about the utility of PhDs. No original contribution to the domain of knowledge. Almost 95% of the PhDs are talking about the existing stores of knowledge. They are analyzing the existing knowledge. They are not doing original research for creation of new knowledge. Means no theoretical research, no utilitarian research, no appreciation of application of findings. All the PhD theses are shelved after it has been awarded. Very few are being published as books for the benefit of the scholars, for the benefit of the students, and for the benefit of the researchers, future researchers. But most of them are not published. But because UGC has made it mandatory for publication of the PhD thesis, you will have to publish one or two papers. So we are seeing more publications in journals, some predatory, some not in the care list, not in the UGC list. I mean, the quality of research is a questionable one. So the utility of research in communication is there is a big question mark. And coming to the next lesson, I have already told you, we have very quality journals, very few quality journals in communication. To name a few, you can count on your fingers. Media Watch, which is there in the list, is one. Journal of Content, Community and Communication by MIT University, Gwalior. And then we have one communicator from the IIMC, which is half research, half popular publications, and there is Global Media Journal, and also I will thank my colleague from Rajasthan for publishing communication today for the last 25 years. You see, when we do not have journals, how will my young faculty, research scholars will publish? Not not overnight we can become qualitative researchers. So we need to have fora, we need to have journals where we can publish. But a lot of contributions have been made by these few, 4, 5 journals that were published in India. And but unfortunately, there are not much publications by the Indian authors in the global journals. I will come back to that. Now, in the journals, whatever, now when I talk about the journals, I will tell you that I have analyzed these 5 journals published in India: Media Watch, Communicator, JCC, Global Media and Communication Today. Fortunate for us that 80 to 85% of the articles are by Indian scholars in communication, are by Indian scholars and researchers, excepting Media Watch. In Media Watch, actually, the Indian scholars' presentation is only 20 to 25% because they take more from foreign countries, foreign authors. But I have also analyzed, because all these journals are coming to our library in the School University: Gazette, Media Asia, Global Media and Communication, Journalism, Media, Culture and Society, and Asia Pacific Media Educator. Now, I am a constant reviewer of articles for Media Asia and Asia Pacific Media Educator. Now, many of the articles that I review, I am sorry to say, from maybe my colleagues, maybe myself, maybe my scholars, they are not conforming to the global standards of research parameters. Qualitatively, they are not meeting the methodological parameters. Methodology, where we lack is the methodology. Now, only 5% of articles in these journals are by Indian authors. Indian authors who? Indian authors who are working abroad. Indian authors who are working abroad, Indian teachers who are working abroad. So there is a minuscule representation of publication of.
Professor Sunil, could you please unmute yourself? I think by mistake it got muted. At the bottom of the screen, you will find a icon of mic. You just need to click on that. At your left-hand side below the screen,
Am I audible now?
yes, perfect.
Oh, sorry. And So, a very significant observation from my side about me. What I have found in these publications, senior professors in communication have very negligible contribution in publishing research articles in journals. What happens here, the moment we become professors, we stop writing and start speaking more. We write less and speak more. More in webinars, seminars, and we start talking more. We write less. Even in terms of, please excuse me, even in terms of guidance, I tell you, we have failed as guides. Failed as guides in the sense we are not guiding for any original contribution to the field. We are anyhow, again, we also tune ourselves as per our students' abilities to do PhD research for a degree. And we become more observational in nature. We observe basically how a scholar works, with a few hints even to them. So we have failed as a research publisher, research article publisher. We are failing as even a very successful guides or supervisors. That is the status of all my, not all, I will not say all, at least me, let me say, the senior professors. But the silver lining here, what I found, is my young faculty members. The young faculty members, I will not name, I have a list of about 25, 26 faculty members with whom I am in regular touch because I am learning from them. I am learning from them about data journalism, I am learning from them about artificial intelligence, I am learning from them about the augmented reality. So I keep learning from my students and my scholars. So I am in touch with them. They are moving forward, not only here at the national level, but they have a footing there at the international arena also. Some are very visible in ICMCD, some are very visible in ICMCD, in all international fora. They go and talk and they publish. But publication, when it comes to again publication, it is slightly less. But that is how, anyhow, we will surmount that problem. Now, I come to the research areas where we can do and we are engaging ourselves. Am I on time, Dr. Ranu? How much time I have?
Yeah, yes, sir. It would be great if we could still move towards summing up, but you are allowed to speak, certainly.
Okay, then very briefly I will tell the research areas now. We have to forget about history and growth of media. We will have to focus on language journalism. We have to forget media and elections and effect research. We will have to move to social and behavioral change communication. We will have to do more research on culture and communication. We will have to do more research on conflict studies and peace studies, conflict communication. And ICT again is a very, very important facet of communication research. And digital divide and digital inclusion will always remain as a very, very prominent area for communication research. We know we have a digital divide and we are looking for digital inclusion. Then, of course, advertising, new media, OTT, all these will be there, the major new areas of communication research. Now, coming to the approaches to research, quantitative or qualitative. Quantitative research, mostly we are going into quantitative research. There is a general earlier, one good thing was earlier we were doing also qualitative research much. There is a between the 1990 to 2010, what I was focusing on my analysis was mostly quantitative research we were doing. Quantitative studies, survey-based studies and all those kind of things. But again after 2010, we are shifting towards qualitative research. We are taking FGD as a data collection tool. We are doing observation, participant observation and non-participant observation as tools of data collection. We are moving again slowly toward qualitative research that has a bearing because we are moving from a domain research, specific research, to interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary research. We are more working on behavioral change communication, C40. We are more working on culture. So, because we are moving from the domain specific to interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary research, the method also changes. Now, the methods that we are adopting, mostly we are adopting survey, content analysis, interviews, then FGTs, case studies is a very used very infrequently by our researchers, and exploratory research need to be done in the areas of ICT, in the areas of social media, in the areas of SBCC, in the areas of C40, exploratory research, because these are the areas which are yet to be explored by communication scholars. Now, research, one more lesson is we are doing research. Again, I will come back to my senior professors who are there in the field. We are today more into funded research projects. It's not that we are not doing research. Besides slightly guiding our scholars, we are into more funded project research on interdisciplinary topics. They are funded by Ford Foundation, UNICEF, UNDP, World Bank, ICSSR, Government of India, ministries, public and private sector undertakings. They provide funds for research in interdisciplinary studies. They are more in terms of action research, they are more in terms of problem-solving research for those funding agencies, promoting also interdisciplinary research. So funded research is being done by the senior faculty members, and research actually, if I will talk about the University of Hyderabad, Jamia Millia, Tezpur University, IIMC also doing mostly funded research, University of Madras, University of Mysore, Assam University, and Ashoka University, KIT University and Bhubaneswar. There are few more universities which are actually doing and collaborate with UNICEF and World Bank body, world level bodies for conducting project research. That's a good sign, but that should have utility again. Now, lesson, what should we do? I will wind up within 5 minutes. One, we need to redesign our curriculum. Redesign means first 2 semesters. It should be for skill acquisition. Skill education need to be provided in first 2 semesters. And second, general, first 2 semesters should be a blend of interdisciplinary perspectives on communication and other social science disciplines, and few modules on writing skills. Semester 3, there should be 2 branches. One branch should be for skill learning, which are the industry-based skills, those who want immediate employment in media industries. One group of students should go towards that. Another group of students, those who want to be in academic, those who want to be in the knowledge industry, those who want to be a part of the knowledge economy and research, for them, there should be a separate curriculum in 3rd and 4th semester. Then students will not lose focus where they are going, what are their goals in life, and what are their learning objectives, learning outcomes, what should be, and accordingly we will train our students. Media industry experts should be involved. Many private universities have that advantage of inviting people from the media. The major problem in public funded university, we are bound by rules and regulations. If you invite an expert, whether he has done a master's, whether he has done his PhD or not, whether he has teaching experience or not, but professional experience now, somehow we have made liberal of interpretation of the rules. We have been also able to invite people from the media, but that is again a very meager percentage of the total outside experts that we are inviting. Again, you see, for capacity building of teachers, which is very important. I tell you, I find it very difficult to select or to find a good teacher. good scholar with teaching abilities, with research acumen, and with good in teaching, good in delivery. It's very difficult to find in lot many selection committees. That we find it very difficult. Though the present generation of commission scholars have a promising future. They are good, many are good. But the capacity building of teachers, now what we are having, for the sake of, we have orientation programs, refresher courses, but that will never help in capacity building of teachers. For communication teachers particularly, we should enter into MOU with the media industry, where a teacher also can go for 7 months, for 7 weeks or 8 weeks, and learn the techniques of media production, be it television, be it print, be it radio. We must learn on the job learning there, so that we can update our knowledge. So capacity building should not be through refresher course and orientation programs, but online experiences there in the media houses, for which the UGC and the universities have to sign memorandum with the media industry. Then secondly, media, there are certain center of excellence, universities and departments in the country. The UGC has given center of excellence, potential center of excellence. Those departments, at least, because they are getting funds, they should think of publishing good quality journals in communication. Good quality journals, which is lacking in our country. Third, I have also suggested a full semester long internship for students. The fourth semester should be a full semester long internship, which we have also introduced here in Tezpur University in MSc4D program. Full semester long. For 5 months they go to the media houses. For 5 long months they go to a UNICEF office. UNICEF is helping us because we are collaborating with them. They are helping us finding internship opportunities. And so one full semester long internship will bring in quality input or output in communication, education and research. Then teaching and learning should also be interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary in nature. A communication should not teach law, should not teach political science or Indian constitution, should not teach. I am not a master of everything, though I know something about everything, but I cannot meet the needs of the students in all those faculties. So there should be exchange of faculties. The faculty members from, now we are teaching in engineering, the communication paper in engineering. We are teaching in law about the press laws, about the media laws. We are also teaching in science departments, talking about science communication. We are offering a paper. Similarly, we also need to have a reverse flow. We must invite teachers from cultural studies to teach culture and communication, from law to teach the media laws and all those things, from management to teach media management. So there should be people from other disciplines who must come and teach our students. That will broaden their perspective, that will broaden their horizon of knowledge, and ultimately that will result in good research, in not only in communication, but good research in communication with multidisciplinary perspectives. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I am grateful to Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies, Jagaran Lake City University, and to my young colleagues, and to Dr. Jayant Panda, who happened to be a student studying in Barampur University, a student of mine. I wish you all a bright future, and I am sure you will fill the void and fill the gap that perhaps which we have created for you. So I look forward to a bright future for communication education, because that is now in your hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Professor Sunil. And I would just borrow the two terms, base and superstructure. Nothing could have been more beautiful and critical also, the way you have unraveled the superstructure of research, especially in context of India. So it is not just about the knowledge, but also about the economy of research and the credibility of the research. You have wonderful.
Recording stopped.
Uh, I am not able to.
Recording in progress.
Hello? Hello, Dr. Ranu? Am I audible? Ah. Now
Yeah.
I see some questions here. One from Kaifi answer. No, I will just. Um, hmm. One is, how can we improve our research quality? Kindly give broad guidelines, sir. Research quality, the three principles I always follow. Quality of research. Lot of readings we will have to make. Background reading we will have to make to think or to identify a research problem. If we are able to identify the feasible and relevant research problem in communication, 50% of our problem is solved. That requires a lot of reading and literature review. So before delving into research, do a lot of reading, do a lot of literature review, and then you will find it much easier to move forward. The second broad guideline is keep writing. Whatever you think, what we do, whatever we search, we simply store it and forget later on. My suggestion is you read those things and make certain points in a notebook of yours. Certain points you will have to make, and that will help you while you are summarizing your things, you are thinking about the research design, thinking about research questions, thinking about the method that you will adopt, which is the most feasible method. All these things will help you. Reading, background research, and then again being in touch with this subject, updating yourself with whatever that is happening in the field of communication. That will help you. It's not, if you are doing research in community radio, that does not necessarily make you read only about community radio or community media. You see, in community media, this behavioral change communication, this cultural communication, all these have a lot of bearing in community. What is a community basically? You must broaden your reading, broaden your horizon, then that will be much easier. Broad guidelines, these are the broad guidelines. The micro level guidelines will always be given to you by your guides or supervisors, depending on the kind of work, nature of work you do. This is the Kaifia answer. Do you think the practical based projects should also be problem and objectives oriented, as the students who are inclined into the technical aspects of mass communication take less interest into theoretical implications of communication? I have already dealt with it. We need to devise a curriculum where first 2 semesters will be general for all the students, those who are interested for the skill-based education and also interested for the academics and applied research, knowledge-based communication studies. But 3rd and 4th semester, there should be 2 branches of teaching and learning, one dealing with the skill-based learning, second dealing with the knowledge-based learning, research-based learning. So the skill-based learning would have their goal in joining the media industry, and the knowledge-based learning, the group of students, they will go for research, they will go for academics, they will go for other kind of research. That is one. Least and UGC care journals are replaced almost every month. When we submit and get published, it is in Scopus, but removed after few months. It's very challenging, especially for budding research scholars. Don't worry. If when you publish your article, if that was there in Scopus, unless if it is a predatory journal, if there is a listed journal and original journal, and when you submitted your article, published article, it was in either UGC list or Scopus based or UGC care list, even after its removal afterwards, you will not suffer. The UGC has already given a notification to that effect. On the date of publication of your article, the period, suppose you have published in January to March 2020, if the journal, suppose Media Watch there in the Scopus page and it was in the UGC list, but suppose afterwards it was removed from the UGC list, then also you will get the credit for that. But most of the things, what we are doing, I'm sorry to say this, we all have these paid journals. We are falling a prey to the paid journals. So interdisciplinary, Journal of Interdisciplinary Studies, Journal of Engineering Advanced Research. In all these journals we are publishing, many of my young scholars, which you should not do. Because if you look at the UGC list of journals, even today, you will find lot of journals in vernacular languages. If we are not able to support our English, particularly in the Hindi belt, if we are not very much, because the medium of instruction is also Hindi, there is a suggestion from my side. There are a lot of Hindi journals which have been included. I am not going into the quality of those journals, but at least they are included in the UGC list or UGC care list. So whenever you write, you write with a certain grammatical fluency in Hindi, and those you can publish there in the Hindi journals which have been listed. So don't go only for the English journals, particularly for the language journalism institutes. This is my suggestion. And then thank you. Can we have a single or identical syllabus for JNC throughout the country? No. Why no? Because you see, communication, education, we can have broader agreement on the theories, on the journalistic practices, on the writing skills, everything. But we also need to contextualize, because you see, suppose in the Hindi belt, they are mostly employed in the Hindi media houses. So how can you have the English journalism courses? We need to contextualize. If you are teaching in Bhubaneswar, your target employment opportunities are at the television channels in Bhubaneswar. So Odia, you must include Odia journalism as a course. You must train them or help them get the skills in writing Odia. In all these things you will have to do. So maybe a broader framework, a universal framework we can have, but that needs to be contextualized depending on the regional needs of the various places, because we are a multicultural, multilingual country and we have contextual differences that needs to be addressed in communication curriculum. And again, I have already told you, we do not have an archive body all over the country which can look for the quality component of the curriculum in communication. We are talking about this, requesting UGC to have, and perhaps in near future we will be able to do that. Then kindly tell us about the possible stakeholders required for the development of a curriculum. Possible stakeholders for any program in the university. Possible stakeholders differ from, honestly speaking, I again will bring in the difference between public and private universities. The private universities focus, the stakeholders are different, the public university stakeholders are different. We are bound by certain norms and rules, and the stakeholders are same. You are also, we are all training our students to be employed there in media house. We are all training our students in knowledge, giving their knowledge input to become good teachers, good researchers, and all those things. So, stakeholders means, who are the stakeholders? The society is also a stakeholder. If you think about when you talk about the societal, the role of an university in promoting an interface with the society, we must do something for the society. The stakeholders are many, plenty. The students, the teachers, the parents, the university, the society, they are all the stakeholders. Curriculum development, even we can, you see, we are using the feedback of the students in finalizing our curriculum or syllabus, because we are in touch with our alumni. Our alumni, when they go and join the organizations, they tell us, come and tell us, sir, these are the things which we can change in our syllabus. This will help our students to find placement, and accordingly we always change. We are organizing our alumni meets at least twice a year, and we take their opinions very seriously, because they are the people, those who can establish the connect between the media industry and the educational institution. They are the people, those who can minimize the trust deficit between the media industry and the academic houses. Now, I think it is already over. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
On this note, sir, we would like
But
to
this is
wind
very
up.
nice. Please
Yeah.
proceed after this for the lunch of Lake City live. But
Yeah, sir,
again, that will be an online lunch for me. And
yeah.
okay.
On this note, while you have answered many curiosities of all the participants, and you have given a vision for all of us, the young faculties. Sometimes we get scared of the research, but now I think we know how to get into this in a better way.
Because hope lies with you.
Yeah, thank you so much to instilling a lot of hopeful insights in us. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you each of the participant, and I would request everyone, if you would like to be with us, kindly follow the link for the online launch of the Lake City Live. I have shared the Zoom link there. And once again, I would like to thank Professor Sunil Kanta. If all things goes well, we would love to have you on our campus in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh in person.
Love to visit you all.
Yeah, that would be more wonderful.
But one thing, thank you very much. And anytime, my telephone is there, my
Sure.
email is there. Anything that you want me to help, I am always open. My phone is 24/7, but certainly not after 12 in the night. And my email ID is there. So anything I am there to, if I can contribute, I will feel happy. And thank you very much, and wishing you all the best for the rest of the sessions. Have a mind-boggling sessions during the coming 2 days, and I wish you all the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I would be ending this meeting. So hopefully looking you all in the next session. Thank you so much.